The 2026 recruiting class is heating up, and there's a really good chance that over the next few days, Kentucky fans are really, really stoked. We're going to talk about what that means on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. We'll talk about Media Day. We're going to talk about what we predict is going to happen at Pro Day. A ton to talk about on today's episode, but we're going to get it started talking a little bit of recruiting. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson. Nash. Carson, I think this is like the most fun stuff we've had to talk about since like the Sweet 16 pregame.
Yeah, no, I'm so pumped. We finally got some information to talk about. We don't have to come up with our own ideas all the time. This is nice. We finally are getting closer to the season enough to where, hey, we got Pro Day tonight. We had Media Day yesterday. I'm getting super excited. I got goosebumps, man. And it's Taco Tuesday.
Okay, you one-upped I thought my stoked joke was cringy. I think you went for you were trying to one-up me there. Good.
Yeah,
gracious. Here we go.
Here we go.
I told Carson, I told Carson before we recorded, I was like, I'm gonna hit you with just an elite dad joke to get this thing rolling.
I was like, I couldn't let him go by himself.
No, exactly. That's great. But recruiting is what we want to start with because it is the buzz of BBN right now. And Carson, it is getting really exciting for this 2026 class. And there is a clear path for Coach Pope to end up with the number one class. And I think there's a chance that two of these players, I think, have you top three. I feel fairly confident to say that. Three of them, you're number one, and it's not debatable. It's not a debate. But Carson, I mean, let's start with talking about none other than Tyran Stokes. I mean, this thing is heating up. So run through that. What are you hearing about that? Why is this kind of spinning in our direction?
Yeah, this has been kind of a hectic week. You know, he's been playing. He actually went up against Rippey the other night, which is an awesome game. If y'all haven't watch that, go back and watch that game. That's both those guys might be wearing blue and white. So that's one you definitely want to watch. But there's been a lot of buzz recently. I know Joe Tipton recently came out and said he considers Kentucky a strong favorite and even gave him a 75% chance to land at Kentucky. So this is very, very good news, especially after he signed his huge Nike contract. So all the leaves are kind of falling in place for Stokes to be a Wildcat. The only team that I kind of have somewhat of a hesitation about is Oregon, just because, you know, Phil Knight, Nike, the whole aspect there. But when it comes to Nike and it comes to basketball, there's no other place to be than the Kentucky Wildcats. So I think Stokes is going to be a Wildcat, and I think that might actually be relatively soon. Check your calendars this weekend, people, because it's Stokes' birthday on Sunday. So I'm thinking this weekend magic might happen.
Yeah. Well, there were two things, and you talked about the Nike deal, Carson, but there were two things that kind of, because it's funny, you and I talked a little bit about recruiting recently. I think we even talked a little bit on Friday, maybe. But after Kenny committed, it started to feel like it was moving in the direction of Kansas. We were all going, oh, great. You know, and what does Carson say all the time here? Recruiting is fluid. It changes every single day. You're going to see changes in recruiting on a day-to-day basis. And that Nike deal, obviously Kansas is an Adidas school. Sorry for all the players there that have to deal with Adidas. It's really unfortunate for you.
Checks over stripes. That's what I like.
Yes, exactly. But that's step one. Now, I don't know the rules. I mean, can he still go there? I don't know. I don't know if he can, if it makes him like unlikely, or maybe he literally can't. I don't know the rules.
It's all dependent on the deal that he signed, I guess, and where Nike would want him to be. It's all, I guess, written in that deal, because for me, I think it's going to be really, really hard for him to choose an Adidas school after signing.
Because Kenny signed with Adidas, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, great example. Kansas, Louisville are both Adidas, right? So it makes sense. But
I think Louisville backed off of Kenny too.
Really? Yeah, I did too.
Because they backed off Stokes. Thanks for backing off Stokes, by the way. I appreciate it.
Why would you back up? I mean, you know, I always say if the number one recruit is your hometown, is your city, you know, stop recruiting that guy.
Yeah,
Why would you
let's
want
not
him?
recruit that guy.
He talked for months and months about how Louisville's my city, man. I want to represent my city and all that.
He did like a little backpack toy drive in Louisville not too long ago. Like he loves the city of Louisville and community.
But no, yeah, I agree. It was a good job to back off. I don't know why you'd want that guy. It doesn't make any sense. Good call there. But
shout out Pat Kelsey.
Yeah, so that happened. We have a Louisville fan every episode. Like, you guys are so mean to Louisville, and it's like, I wish you guys would just be mean back. It's like part of the rivalry. Like, you know what I mean?
That kind of goes along with what Pope said yesterday in his press conference, where they were talking about, I think it was Matt Jones who brought up like what happened during that altercation, and Pope's like, oh, it was really nothing, but I kind of wish there was something. So I kind of want to make up a story just so we have that little bad blood rivalry action going. So I thought that was hilarious.
Rivalries are good. I mean, if we want this to be one of the best rivalries in college basketball, which when we're both great basketball teams like we will be this season, it should be. But yeah, I mean, let's, hey, I mean, and Kentucky fans, if you're all saying Louisville fans are being, don't ever say Louisville fans are being mean, no, it's the part of the fun. You should respectfully poke fun at your rival. That is more than fine. But back on the Stokes thing. So yes, the Nike deal kind of backed him off Kansas. Like I said, I don't know the rule to where could he still go to Kansas? I don't know, but it is definitely took their chances down to 0.1%, if there even is a percent.
Yeah. I genuinely think it's a 2-horse race now. I think it's Kentucky and Oregon.
But then that kid signed. Taj Ariza. And
Trevor Ariza's son.
He is a big, for a 6'8", 6'9" forward. Like they play similar positions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're the number one player,
it doesn't matter.
If he wants to go to, I agree, it doesn't matter as much. If he wants to go to Oregon and get $10 million, I don't know how much, but I mean, they have that money. I mean, that would be like
outside of I've heard that Kentucky leads in NIL right now.
Really? Over Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that, they can print money. It just, I don't know what the rules of this are. So I don't know the rules to it. Like, I promise you, Nike leads in money. I just don't know the rules of how it gets to the school and how. No one does. No one understands NIL, which is why it's.
But Oregon's a bit different because I mean they also have one of the best football teams in the country.
Yeah.
Oregon has to pay their guys on the football field because in reality, Oregon basketball doesn't make them money. Oregon football makes their athletic department money.
We don't have one of the best football teams in the country.
No,
we do not possess that.
We'd maybe be one of the best in D3, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could cover against center. I think if the spread is Kentucky plus 14.5 against center, we
could cover.
But, I agree. So, but that to me is why I feel good. The stuff with Kansas and the Nike deal, and then the kid committing to Oregon that is a similar player to Stokes and a top 15 guy. It's not like he's ranked 92. This is a top 15, just 5-star recruit. So if I'm Stokes and I'm a forward, I'm a big, strong, 4 kind of guy, a little fluid. I mean, I think he's a guy that can play a lot of positions.
For me, he's a 3-4. I think right in that wheelhouse.
But I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, I think that a lot of our power forwards, I think that, Mo D, they could both come back. They could both go pro. Yelovich and Mo D. I think that you could see Mo D come. But think about this: if I have a feeling there's a good chance Yelovich goes pro.
Mm-hmm.
I just have this feeling about it. And if that happens, and then you return Mo D, and you have Mo D coming off the bench for Stokes, can you imagine how good and nasty that's going to be?
And not even thinking about year 2 Braden Hawthorne.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, which year 1 Braden Hawthorne might be.
Well, yeah, year 1, but year 2 in the system.
Exactly. But so I feel good about Stokes, Carson. I now feel really good that we're going to land Stokes, and I think it'll be the next 5 days. Frankly,
I think so too.
So
I'm stoked, like you said.
Oh man, here he goes. So and then the other 2 names there are Deron Ruppy Jr. and Caleb Holt. Caleb Holt. I know that both Alabama schools are big in for him. The Pearl retirement, I think he's out on Auburn.
Yeah.
So now I think we're in their form. That's a recruitment I have not followed as closely as Stokes. So how do you feel about us with Holt? Do we have a real shot there, Carson?
Well, it certainly can't be a bad thing that he canceled his Auburn visit and immediately scheduled an unofficial visit to Big Blue Madness. So that is never a bad thing.
No,
I do think we're probably I'd give Alabama the slight edge right now, just because I sort of feel that way. But after this weekend, like we said earlier, recruiting's fluid, man.
Yeah.
And Big Blue Madness is going to be a spectacle this weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to be in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so I feel like he's going to enjoy that a lot. And you don't get that at Alabama. So it'll be cool for him to see that and kind of compare the two. And, the only thing with Holt that kind of worries me a little bit is what happens if Stokes does commit. Does Holt want to follow him and still play a role, even though he knows Stokes is going to be really ball dominant? So it'll all be we'll see this trickle down when Stokes commits. We'll see where the leaves fall after that. I think we probably have a better chance at getting Darren Rippey Jr. Just because I think he plays the one, and we're going to need a one. So I like his recruitment a little better right now. But things change quick, so I'm not saying we can't land them all.
I feel good about landing Rippey and Stokes, and that right there, perfect. Holt would just be the sprinkles and cherry on top of the ice cream. You know what I mean?
If you get Rippey, Holt, and Stokes, that's 3 lottery picks.
It's 3 top 10 players, 3 lottery picks. I mean, nuts. And it was everybody that said, and at that point, everybody that said, Mark Pope can't shut your pie hole.
Yes.
Shut it. So really exciting stuff on the recruiting front. I think we're good on that end. Carson, you ready to talk a little media day stuff?
Yeah.
So media day, I thought, which I was so sick I couldn't be there, which I'm having a great time on the trip. While media day was going on, I literally was catching redfish on a charter every single cast. It was the craziest fishing charter we've been on. So we had a great time. So I cannot complain. I'm having a lot of fun.
Seems like you didn't miss much then.
No, but I love being at media day. It's a ton of fun.
Walker escaped easy this time.
Yes, he did, because I had some funny questions to ask him. But do you have what was your biggest takeaway from media day? What was the one response from a player, from Coach Pope that you heard and stuck with you the rest of the day and this morning?
Yeah, I think for me it was when Pope was talking about how Trent Noah right now is averaging 1.76 points per possession, which is the highest Pope has ever seen as a coach. And I think that's completely outlandish. And it also followed up with Jalen Lowe saying that someone had to be offered a gift card to make Trent Noah not score in practice and miss a shot. And Cam Williams actually ended up doing it and receiving the gift card. But Trent Noah is that deadly of a sniper and scorer that they had to pay someone to try to make him stop scoring.
You know what my biggest takeaway was from this media day? It's actually a picture that KSR took and posted.
Yeah.
Of the did you see this, of the screens?
Yeah.
And people would say, look at the shooting percentages. That's great. That's not what I cared about. I liked looking at the players that have taken. Did you see this? Yeah. Oh, so you did. The 5 Kentucky players that have taken the most shots over the last 30 days. So, and I love leadership. Otega always the leader, man. You want to know how I know?
Dude.
Because he's on top of this list. Now let's take I'm curious about this. So Otega Owe has taken the most shots on this system. And once again, I don't know if every time these players go shoot, are they shooting on the system? We don't obviously know that. So maybe there's players that are taking shots not on the system. But I mean, I think that they would probably document all their shots if they had the technology to. But Otega Owe took 8,209 shots over the last 30 days. That is an average of 273.6 shots per day.
Oh, my gosh.
So he is shooting the basketball almost 275 times per day over the last 30
100 shots a day keeps the bricks away, but he's got 200. So,
and I just – that says a lot. That, to me, I obviously never – lacked respect for Otega Owe or anything like that. I'm just saying, you're already your team's superstar. You're dealing with turf toe. You're banged up, and you're out there working your butt off to get better. That sends a message to your team. That sends a message to your fan base. And so I saw some people in the comments like, I guess it was more about the shooting percentages. Like, why would you post that? Because now people are going to see. I'm glad that KSR posted that because I absolutely love that. The Otega Owe is a leader. And that's how you lead. Some players are, Carson, we've played sports our whole life.
Yeah.
We've got the loud leaders, the guys.
Yeah, there's a difference between vocal leaders and leaders who show how to lead.
And that's how you lead by example. And I love that from Kentucky's superstar. That is something if this team, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. That exactly right there. I just respect that. Number 2 was Mr. Jedovich. 7,848 shots, which is right up there. I mean, that's got to be like 200 and, not far off.
Let me get into my Yelovich little story here from the media because I thought it was hilarious.
All right.
So Yelovich, so Big Z is also from Croatia, and so Yelovich knew who Big Z was going when he committed to Kentucky and everything. And so when Yelovich was getting ready to commit, he reached out to Big Z. And Big Z was kind of hyping up with Kentucky, which was cool, is what Yelovich was saying. He was like, it's the best place that I've been. He's like, you're going to have so much fun there. And then, so Yelovich commits and everything. And then Z supposedly says, hey, man, watch out for Papa John's because I was really sick for 2 weeks when I got there because I was eating too much Papa John's to stay away from the Papa John's.
That's cool.
I thought that was really funny.
That's cool. It's cool to see Big Z. As much as we might think Big Z soft down low, I always liked Big Z.
Oh, I love Big Z.
I'll root for him in Illinois now, man. That'll be fun watching him and his brother at Illinois. I'm a Big Z enjoyer.
I'll never forget that video. He took someone's phone that we're friends with, and he goes, Jake, he's talking to my offensive lineman brother. He's like, Jake, got to quit snacking.
That was hilarious. That video is the best. And I'll never forget the Georgia game where that was the most fun performance of a single game performance.
Dude, I was talking to my dad, like, we got another Dirk Nowitzki. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, that was nuts. Number 3 on this list was Jaden Quaintance, which is cool because obviously he's fighting back from his injury, but he's still getting
I think that's awesome too. Yeah.
Then Jalen Lowe and Denzel Aberdeen were the next 2 guys. So, I mean, what's so cool about this? A lot of the names on this list are your leaders, the guys that I think are supposed to be leading your team.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, right next to, your house or for these players, you have the ability to go in here and do this whenever you want. Go put shots up. Get better every day.
That technically could be your starting lineup going into March. If you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. It really could be. So media day quotes that I really liked. I liked Coach Pope. You talked about the one where he talked about the rivalry. I absolutely loved that. Did you see where Coach Pope said who would play him in a movie?
No, I missed that. Well, who did he say?
You want to take a guess? So the first question of the press conference, I got the transcript of it. It was if there was a movie, what actor would you cast? Would you want to play you?
Oh my God. It'd be someone who'd have to be tall.
I think you went tall. I immediately went bald.
Well, yeah, tall and bald.
I'm
having a hard time thinking here. I'm blanking.
So, my first couple thoughts were
whoever plays Gru for Despicable Me.
You know who plays Gru?
No, it's Steve Carell.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay, so my first thought was the Jason Statham guy from the Meg.
Yeah.
There you go. There's one.
Yeah.
What's the other bald guy that's in all the action movies?
I don't know. I think Christian Bale could do maybe a good job if he shaved his head.
Well, guess who Coach Pope said?
Who?
Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt should play him.
I would say Brad Pitt too.
I don't know about that, but I
respect it. I respect it.
I mean, I'd say the same thing.
Yeah. Who's playing me? Brad Pitt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got to make it lifelike, right?
Yeah.
I also loved so it was funny. They asked Coach Pope a question about analytics, and he talked about how much he loves analytics and how much they're part of his program and part of what he does on a day-to-day basis. And then the next question was about what made you want to go get Jalen Lowe? And he was like, "Oh, that's funny." Right after I get done talking about analytics, you're going to talk about a guy who didn't shoot the ball well. Yeah. But he talked about everything that we've said for months, and he's talked about this before. But the whole, Jalen, he was in the 95th percentile of players and taking shots in the bottom 20% of shot quality numbers. And that's what we've said here. He was taking bad shots because that was the only way he could get points on the board for that.
It wasn't the Pittsburgh Panthers. It was freaking Jalen Lowe.
It was the Jalen Lowe's.
Yeah.
And exactly. And I just love that he's backing his guy. I mean, we've everybody in the world that's hating on this Kentucky team, a lot of the hatred is, well, Jalen Lowe shot 2% from the field. And anybody that doesn't just look at a stat sheet understands why and can understand why in this system, in the Mark Pope system, he's going to be a whole heck of a lot better. I love seeing that. Were there any other media day quotes before we talk a little pro day?
Yeah, I have 2 more, or actually I have 3 more. 4
Run through those quotes.
Yeah. So Colin Chandler leads in defensive impact metric, which is massive. That's big because we wanted to see that for sure. He's going to be a freak, and we have some more on him before we end this show too. But another one that I thought was funny, it's kind of a welcome to college moment for Braden Hawthorne. Mo D was in practice just being Mo D, physical, getting to the rim. And apparently on his rim run, he just got Braden Hawthorne right in the lip, and he had to go get 7 stitches right after practice. And if you look, there's a visible cut on Braden Hawthorne's lip that does not look nice. It looks nasty. And then another one that I thought was really cool was Jasper's interview, where he was talking about how he has a really good connection with Rondo. He actually calls him Coach Rondo. And then he also texts and talks to John Wall a lot for advice too. So I think having those 2 guys in his corner are only a good thing. That's massive. And then my last thing is kind of not as big of a story, but it's I think it is JQ walks around campus with the basketball. And I think that's awesome because that means ball is life. Yeah. That kid does not care about anything but basketball.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw the 6'10" JQ walking around campus, would you wonder? I wonder if he plays basketball carrying that basketball around.
Wonder if this dude plays basketball.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So media day was great. It got to know these players. He also announced they're going to be doing a fan thing before Big Blue Madness. Carson, did you see that?
Yeah, that's going to be
players, cool. The women's players, the men's players. That's going to be really cool. And I think that should be an every year thing.
Yeah, doing that for free is awesome.
Because these and Mark Pope is great with BBN and so are these players. But I mean, BBN's the best fan base in college basketball. They're going to support this team through everything. Do something like this, to
I think this is going to help bolster the Big Blue Madness crowd too, because we've never done this before. And then you have an all-day event with the players from the men and women's teams, and they're going to go. You can take your kids, go get the autograph signed, go get your own autograph signed, and have a good time, and then wait, and then go to Big Blue Madness right there, and it's going to be perfect. It'll be super fun. I'm glad they're kind of implementing fan interaction, and that I think that's really cool.
It's great. It's a great idea. So, great media day this year. We have a great team with a lot of great young men. That's for sure. Great players on the court and great humans off the court, which I love. It's just easy. It's always easier to get behind a team where you just got a bunch of great guys. So let's do this, Carson. Okay, Pro Day is today, right?
Yeah.
Pro Day is today, which is very exciting. I figure there will be
I'm calling it. This kicks off the season. This is our first little event. This kicks off the season.
So, Pro Day is today from 5:30 to 7:30. So it's this evening. So I want us to just pick a couple players, each of us can. I'll let you go first, that we think are going. Now, is there a way to watch it? I forget that. I swear, is there not?
Should be on SEC Network. It typically is.
Let's look and see. The only thing is they normally yes, it'll be on SEC Network Plus.
Wonder if Darren Rippey Jr. on his visit right now is getting excited to see all the scouts that come in.
Probably. I think that's a great thing to bring up. But so to be on SEC Network Plus, Carson, who is the player for you that is going to be the number one guy that we're going to leave pro day, and those pros are going to be writing his name down and circling it a bunch and saying, watch this kid. Don't forget about this kid.
Yeah, well, since Ortega and JQ aren't competing, those two are probably – you can't put those two, even though they probably be at the top of that list.
Yeah.
But my guy, I think, is a little underrated, and like I said earlier, I think it's going to be Colin Chandler. He's got all-world athleticism. He's 6'5". He defends really, really well, and he can shoot the heck out of the ball. I think he can do everything, and if his playmaking and his dribbling has gotten better, watch out. Like, actually watch out, because he's going to be a problem.
People forget that this kid was a top 40 recruit. Around that. He's a freak athlete.
Go watch. Go watch. Do me a favor if you have time today. Go watch his tape, his high school basketball tape, where before he took his mission trip, and go watch how special that kid is.
I think Colin Chandler is the best answer. If you ask me, that'd be my number one answer as well, because I don't think the world knows what this kid's got in him. I think you saw flashes last year toward the end of the season. And I think this offseason he's fully tapped into it.
He even said himself, yesterday that last year was kind of a learning process because he had to figure out how to get his body right first. And it took him a long time to get his body right. And then he could start focusing on skills and shooting and dribbling and everything else. But now he had his full year to get his body right. And now it's just been working on skills and perfecting his craft. So I think he's going to hit that next level real soon.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's gonna be special tonight, and he's gonna have a special season. My next guy is funny, is Braden Hawthorne. This kid has the frame to be a freak. I mean, 6'8", 6'9", lengthy.
Okay. Well, let me preface this real quick. What happens if Braden Hawthorne just goes out there and does what you said and just kills it? Or are we starting to rethink like, hey, maybe this guy should play a little bit?
I think I've already made that decision. I think he's going to play a little bit. I think he's going to be too good to keep off the court. And if he is, I think people need to take a big, long look at Mark Pope's talent, ability talent evaluation. Because, Hawthorne wasn't the highest ranked guy. He was a late up and comer in the class. I mean, I think it says a lot about Coach Pope if he ends up being a great player, because he was a project. And I think he's going to end up being the next Aduthiero. If Aduthiero was a project and turned himself into an NBA draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, Braden Hawthorne, the same thing. Braden Hawthorne's almost 7 feet tall and can dribble and hit you off the dribble and step back and shoot a three in your face. So, you can't teach that.
No, you cannot. Now, I've got one more name, Carson, and I think it's a name that you and I are both going to agree on, and he's going to have his, kind of night, and that's Cam Williams. And I say that one because I think we both agree, Carson. I think
Cam
he's
Williams
going to shoot the crap out of the rock tonight, and scouts are going to go, okay, so he's 6'8", he's got a 7-foot plus wingspan, he can dribble, he can shoot, and he's a pretty good defender. Maybe this kid is going to be an NBA player. Maybe this kid could be a lottery pick. I think tonight's going to be the night where we see him on the mock drafts. Carson and I are talking about it. You're going to see it tonight. Cam Williams is going to be an NBA draft pick, a first-round NBA draft pick. I think we're going to see it tonight. So do you got any other player, Carson?
I think one guy that we're not talking enough about is Denzel Aberdeen, because I think he's right there in the conversation with Colin with the athleticism factor. Yeah. And I think he's going to be a great defender. He can shoot it. He's very physical at the rim. He's a good finisher. So I think Denzel Aberdeen's also going to show out tonight. I just think the size mixed with the speed and athleticism, I think him and Colin are going to be crazy tonight.
He's going to go from one of the best role players in college basketball to one of the best players in college basketball. And I think tonight is the start of that. So, all right, Carson, you got anything else before we call it a day?
Oh, that's all I got. Well, actually, everyone tune in at noon because LeBron might retire today. It could be a big day. He does have an announcement at noon. Would be wild.
I think that he seems like the type of guy that's going to do his retirement tour thing.
That's my guess is that he just announces that this is his last season.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen, because the reality is he said he's going to play till the wheels fall off, and he can still play a little bit. I know he's getting older. I mean, I get it, but he can still play a little bit. I think he's got another year in him, and I think the Lakers could be good with Luka, and I think he's got one more year left in the tank. I think he should give it all he's got and then call it. So
yeah,
we'll see, but that'll be interesting, something to pay attention to.
mm-hmm.
That is all we got today. Awesome, exciting, fun stuff. We
getting closer, baby.
We'll talk about we'll do a Big Blue Madness preview this week. We might even do a pro day. We might throw 3-edge this week, so we'll just kind of see what we're working with. Because we'll talk about pro day and we'll talk about Big Blue Madness, so we'll see. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Come along for the ride. We got an exciting basketball season that could hopefully take us into April. So get along for the ride. Hit that subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate that. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday. Pro Day on SEC Network Plus. Watch it. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.